because they're on defense. Red Devils will ban second. It's Nomad, gone, just like that. That's the...
first Nomad ban today.
First Nomad, exactly.
Sorry, I
yanked him off my tongue, right off of it.
Sorry. I apologize, Michael.
It's
I did not
okay.
mean to take anything off of your tongue.
Violently, even.
There goes Thatcher. There must be, this has got to be a Kaid ban coming out from INTZ in that case, or even a Mute ban. Here's where things get hairy, because it's very unlikely that Red Devils will ban either Mute or Kaid. There you go. They take out Jaeger. That's
sensible.
very sensible. So now INTZ.
They get him.
The hell do you do?
They have to ban one of them.
They have to ban Kaid or Mute.
Because then they're going to have a terrible time on defense. Or maybe they think that Red Devils aren't going to do that when Red Devils go to their defensive half on basement. Maybe they're just like, nah, they don't know how to do that. They're both in play.
Okay.
There's no Thatcher.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you who are maybe watching Rainbow Six Pro League for the first time and you're not sure why this is so comedic.
Okay.
You need to ban Thatcher to allow for a Kaid and a Mute to deny the main lobby drop on basement of Oregon, right? So that means that the Thatcher can't get the electronics through the wall using the EMP. But when neither Kaid nor Mute are banned and Thatcher is, that means that that drop is probably not going to get opened unless, for some reason, the defenders decide not to bring a Mute or a Kaid, or maybe they bring them and they don't use them on the drop. Either way, we're not going to get there just yet. We're going to the top floor first.
Nobody 6-picks either. You could have. I wanted to run them both. Run a Kaid and a Mute.
Obviously, yes.
Do them both.
You do them both. If you have both, do both. Especially if Thatcher is banned. Dude, okay, Parker, there's a Kaid on this specific drop-down that you could place next to the wall that you just can't get as anyone peeking from the main laundry stairs. You need a Thatcher to get it. You also, I don't think you can get it with the Maverick. And there goes Uke and Duds. So we're going to have a rehost. Oh, all of INTZ is gone.
I think they just left the game.
Yeah, they did leave the game.
I think they just left the game.
So, yeah, there's a spot with a Kaid where
on the downstairs.
On downstairs.
Over top of the washing machine, if I remember correctly.
It's near the washing machine. It's next to the bomb behind the wall. You can't shoot it from the bottom of main stairs. You need a Thatcher to get it. The Maverick can't get it.
Twitch can get it.
Twitch can get it.
But if you're running
true.
a Mute and a Kaid.
And you're going to be challenging main stairs.
Good luck getting the Twitch drone down there.
That's not going to happen.
This is going to get wild real fast.
We didn't even go to the basement.
This is going to get wild really, really fast.
We didn't go to the basement first round. That's the thing that's most striking to me. Maybe I think they're just trying to trip him up.
That was what I think. And I think they might have... They might have not even actually seen where the bomb site was.
I didn't catch...
Because they crashed fast enough that the actual site might be concealed right now. There's a likelihood.
I'd say 75% chance.
Yeah.
Pulled that number out of nowhere.
You really did pull that number out of nowhere. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't know that they went to dorms, then that information might not be available.
We'll see. I mean, they're not going to be able to change their operator selection anyway. So if I didn't catch the operator selection, we rehosted so fast. It was
defense was like a
shocking.
Legion, Valkyrie.
I saw Valkyrie. They had a Mute.
Mira, a Mute, and I can't remember what the other one was. Attack, it was like a Kappa Tau.
I didn't see any of the attackers.
A Twitch. Nobody 6-picked.
No one?
Nobody 6-picked. None at all.
Okay.
Nobody.
So, top floor. Again, I think that's probably just operator selection. They're trying to trip up the attackers. There are certain attackers you can bring to help with the basement. But
it's going to be really interesting to see the way that it works out on kids' dorms. Because Mute is good on any side of the map.
Yeah.
Really. Except for, maybe Tower.
I would say that Mute is good anywhere. I think it's hard to find a place where he's not, because at the very least he's denying information.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen strategies with Mute, for example, where you're going to throw him way away from sight. You're just going to put some jammers around his roaming area, and he can delay quite a lot. I mean, that doesn't happen nearly as much anymore, but we've seen it. It's a possibility. It's something you can try to do.
We call it the Mute Jammer Superhighway.
No, that's...
You could set a bunch of Mute Jammers and then not get lioned.
That's
The mute jammer super highway.
That's when you put 4 jammers in a row. That's different.
Super highway. It's like a highway of
I just
all 4 of them
okay.
that you could
Yep.
you could run on.
Line's still not a thing.
He's getting changed though. He's on the TTS right now. He's on the TS.
Pretending it's not happening.
He's getting changed.
Back of the head.
He's getting changed.
No. I mean, he's getting changed. That's true. But not yet.
Not yet.
We're not there.
On the TS. Try him. If you have PC, download the TS.
Yep.
You can go on Uplay or whichever provider you have the game on. Go and download the test server.
Yeah, and if you spot any bugs, make sure to report them. That's what the test server's there for.
R6 fix.
Yep.
And just give us feedback.
It's really, really handy.
Really handy.
You can build up the game, make it all better as a team.
Yes.
Yeah. R6 Fix is actually amazingly intuitive to use, by the way. I don't know.
I've actually never used it before.
Yeah, it's really simple.
I'm just the kind of guy who complains and doesn't provide any solutions. I'm just kidding. That's not me.
Okay, good. I think we have the match ready for you guys in just a bit. We're loading back in. Whether or not we're going to be able to continue.
A Mute and a Legion are going to be strong operators on Kid Storms.
Yes.
Indisputably. Indisputably. And as we look at what the lineup is, it's a Pulse. And there was a Mute as well. There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, here are the lineups.
We're in there.
Just in case you're curious. There you go.
Okay, so 2 hard destructors, no Habana being brought. It's going to be top 4 yet again. The Mira is in play, left unbanned. Huge there. You could see there's a pulse. That means it's likely they're going to be roaming down in the kitchen area. And 2 C4s, potentially 3 in play here. Again, suggesting play from below from INTZ. The attacking lineup, they brought a Capitao. Capitao useful on either of the 2 bomb sites that are likely to be defended first round. You can use Capitao very effectively to deny top of white from a master take. Just open up that generator wall. Capitao Firebolt, top of white stairs. That denies that rotation to any players on INTZ, and we'll pack that player in a corner. And you could go for a plant using the Capitao smoke bolts for visual cover as well. But of course, that isn't going to be the biggest play, I think, for the attackers, since INTZ has brought quite a lot of C4, and again, specifically that Pulse. I think it's going to be on Red Devils to clear out below. I think it's going to be a really important thing. Oh, wow, no way. Okay, so that windmill camera is very good if your opponents don't check for it. The odds of that happening are very, very, very slim. But who knows? Maybe Red Devils won't check for it. They're going for a tower take right now, so it's actually very possible that they won't. So yeah, lots of information that we'll have likely on the sides of INTZ. Board trying to challenge this tower take, it looks like. He's got his heartbeat detector, his trusty cardiac sensor, to determine exactly where the take is coming from.
It's good information with the Capitao on the board. A lot of teams will utilize Capitao over where he's positioned right now, which is by the back of that tower. And a lot of teams have actually been taking tower first as a big part of their push towards the site. You can lock down T3, then you move to T2. Right now, Duds is up on T3. You will get the opening kill and say goodbye to both Velvet and Midi. Or Mighty, if you want to call him. Not so mighty on that entry as Duds gets a free kill, as nobody seems to know that there's a Legion up on that T3. There goes another for Intact, and Red Devils are being denied entry to the building. That's 3 kills in the first minute and 15 seconds for INTZ.
And you might be wondering why was there no one droning T3 of tower? And I am too. VNX looking for some more runouts. Not going to find any. He'll take a little bit of damage as he drops from the top of tower. Right now, Red Devils are just, you know, playing with the last minute 20 that they have available. Makes total sense. There's no reason to give up at this point, but they know they can't take into tower. They met too much resistance from INTZ, and they have to make an adjustment. It's good that Red Devils are committed to this adjustment so quickly, in fact, and not lingering on tower for too much time. You can see Boar is going to call out the Twitch, pushing into Garage. It's a fairly obvious play there, and information will be relayed to the rest of INTZ. Drunk's going to be going for a run out. He still has that camera on the windmill in all likelihood, and so he would have had information to commit to that run out, but there was nobody outside, so I'm wondering why he did. Yuke will take down one in the hallway. That's hit. VNX gets the first kill for his team, though. Costs him half of his HP, but Boar goes down. Uke is lit up. Potentially could even die to a Twitch drone. The odds of that are slim. There's potential for a clutch here from VNX, but it would have to be pretty miraculous.
He's pinned down from multiple angles, and I think his biggest thing is you got to go for kills at this point. You can't fetch that diffuser. You know it's in a position where there's somebody watching. There's Uke. Always watching. VNX isn't able to get much out of that.
So that clear into tower. Usually when you're clearing out towers, an attacking team, what you're going to do is you're going to start with droning from top to bottom. So you figure out where the defenders are roaming in tower. Or anchoring, depending on if they're defending tower or not. Anyway, moving on from that, you're going to drone on from T3 to T2 to T1, and then down into the basement near Harry Potter. The reason you do that is you just want to establish what you're confronted with as an attacker. So after you drone out that part of the building, you can then clear in as a team. And, you know, for example, if there's someone on T3, go on multiple different rappels, try to take out that player, and then get tower control. Once you have tower control, you have control of north windows, you deny the flank there, and then you can start pressuring the site. So that's usually how teams will go about assaulting from tower onto top floor. But they didn't drone out T3. Anyway, so INTZ are going to go downstairs now. And they have brought a mute, but not a Kaid.
Most teams might not run him.
Yeah, fair enough. But why?
I mean, maybe some teams haven't worked him into their strats.
Sure. Okay.
Why an alibi?
That's what I'm saying.
Why an alibi?
I didn't want to say it.
Why an alibi downstairs?
I didn't want to be the person to say it.
It's
I feel like I'm hammering too hard, and I just had to stop. But
not smart.
bring a kite. You work into strats? I understand, but like throw
It's not even a
Electroclaws
Kaid. Just why?
onto traps, onto the drop downs, and then they can't access them. Why? Thatcher's banned.
No Jaeger means that there's lots of projectiles that you can throw down there.
They didn't bring a Twitch.
They did not bring a Twitch, but I mean at the same time, a lot of teams are going to utilize a Twitch on that bottom floor in a position where your Twitch drone isn't able to do all that much. Once again, Red Devils are not going to be able to make it into the building.
They didn't drone out tower, and Drunks will take down
For the second time.
the Lone Hard Breacher. A Brew on an entry as Thermite will get taken down, but Duds gets refragged by Mighty, so great job there to the grenades from the sledge.
I mean, I guess it's important that if you're not going to be able to get the mute jammers and do any hard destruction at all, I mean, you might as well be your first to die.
He's entering tower, Parker. He's doing his job as the Thermite.
I am a little surprised that you wouldn't double up on hard destruction here, and I say that
True,
because
I agree.
You understand that first hatch is likely going to go to the mute jammer, but there is actually a wall that is to the left of the classroom wall that can blow all three of them up, the two walls and the hatch. So you can bypass that mute jammer. There's no Kaid in play, so you don't have to worry about the mute jamming either of the two back meeting hall hatches, so you can bring a Hibana. This is an opportunity for Red Devils to just bring two hard destructors and possibly cause some headaches for INTZ, and they're just not doing it.
All three are unbanned. They've brought one, and it was probably the least useful when attacking the basement specifically. I can understand maybe if you want to go for a construction take using that Thermite, and that would make sense because Red Devil started with taking tower control, right? Take tower control, go for construction. You could Thermite the wall from construction, blue specifically, into pillbox, then you have access to B. Great, that's a strategy. It's a viable strategy. But the Thermite entered tower, and now it seems like the entire attack strategy has just stopped. Stopped, dead in its tracks. And they're setting up for a tower construction take, but they're taking a lot. There's no reinforcements on that wall.
Oh, you coming so close to taking down Mighty in the back of supply room.
So the wall's unreinforced, so the Thermite being gone, not important as it turns out.
Frag grenade is going to sail over top of Uke, and another Adrenal Surge will go out. Two of them, which so far have done and accomplished very little. The good news is that when you're under the Adrenal Surge, you breathe in the toxic fumes of those canisters a lot faster. And well, if you're not under the Adrenal Surge, you can't breathe them in any quicker. Drunks takes out Velvet, C4 goes down, does not hit anything. Execute coming on in, Capitao will just cut off the site. Expecting Capitao to be planting in the particular position. Uke is just standing in the middle of the smoke. Another for Drunks, and there you have Uke being able to take out Hit. looking to possibly find VNX, but a big round from Drunks, just all over the place. That SMG-11 is a formidable gun in the hands of a lot of different players, and that is INTZ picking up their second round.
Good job there to INTZ on the initial denial by Tower. It seems like something that they've been excelling at. Well, the tower take from Red Devils is not working out. They're struggling with gathering information, but following that, they're struggling with entry in general. They keep losing someone and very, very seldomly getting the refrag. We did see there, though, I believe it was Mighty who got that grenade refrag. Very important, and it almost gave them a little bit of a momentum shift, but it wasn't enough, no. The thermite being lost early on, it seemed like it was going to be a huge factor. It ended up not being. And why? Because INTZ didn't reinforce construction wall. I don't know why. They just didn't. It's going to be a tower defense here from INTZ because they have to defend either tower or kitchen. They have yet to lose a defensive round. They're bringing a clash. It's interesting. Potentially, I guess, a useful operator, though, on tower. I feel like, wouldn't she be really difficult to handle on tower? Like, I mean, it's one of the most vertical sites, right? It's like, if you put her on T3, what is she doing? She's getting shot from below. If you put her underneath T3, she's getting shot from below. The most I could see her being effective in is meeting hall, but usually meeting hall is not the most pressured place. I really want to know where they're going to put that clash.
You look at what Red Devils have at their disposal, though. They've got plenty of opportunities to make the clash get punished, right? You've got the grenades. You've got actually 6 sets of grenades. You've got every single frag grenade that's available. Oh! Hey, Brew!
Again, the first pick.
Uke is just waiting by the front door.
That's unfortunate.
Not ideal.
Yeah. So, well, you know what's important, though, is the hard destruction here is not too crazy important. That's good. That's good for the attacking team. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the clash is on T3 right now. So that's going to put her very exposed. Yes, indeed, the clash is on T3. Nades coming in, but they will miss. Though luckily, as you stated, lots of grenades and no ADSs to support the clash.
You've got to imagine that was a big part of why Red Devils employ this strategy, is the fact that they can just abuse the lack of ADS, which is exactly what's going to happen. And Drunks is very susceptible to getting pushed from below as he tussles with the Capitao that is on rappel.
Yeah.
He's going to get shot from multiple angles, as that appears to be the thermite, if I hear correctly. No, the thermite is dead, rather. That is a very interesting the way that gun sounds. It's actually the Finka.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That Jaeger ban kind of working out, but not enough for Red Devils, as the grenades just aren't landing on the clash. Drunks, 25 HP still, and with control of T3. And it looks like Red Devils are just going to give up on that control.
I think at that point you kind of have to. Even though Drunks is susceptible to being finished off, he's very low.
Yeah.
These Valkyrie cameras still out there, and with how much of Valkyrie has been run by INTZ, all this information is really helping them out. This is an opportunity to possibly run an IQ here. I mean, you're not going to have a Thatcher. It's tough to be able to do that. Oh, no! INTZ takes out Drunks with the team kill as he throws a toxic canister above, and I mean, there wasn't that much left of the clash. But this is actually a very winnable round here for Red Devils. There's a body on T3. Oh! A shot by INTZ.
Good job to INTZ getting control of T3 again, but Mighty's inside, and Boar from Attic will shut him down. INTZ win their 3rd round in a row. And something we don't say very often on Oregon, but a successful full cycle by the defense.
The clash did end up being quite a focal point, though.
You know what? I gotta be honest, Parker. No Jaeger, and every single grenade...
It didn't land.
Didn't land. I mean, they did some damage. They did some damage, but that's 6 grenades that did a little bit of damage to a clash. And then the Capitao firebolts, I'm not sure what happened to those.
You can literally crossfire the clash up top with grenades.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, okay, yes, the clash was effective there, but should it have been? Nah. Especially not considering the strategy that Red Devils brought out. You pointed it out, and you're absolutely right. Red Devils banned Jaeger so that they could bring a lot of grenades. And use them to counter things like what we just saw from that clash. Just didn't work. They didn't execute it properly. It happens. INTZ go back upstairs. And this is the first site that they defended. And it'll be their second time going here. They, again, pulled off a perfect cycle on this map. Oregon is just not one of those maps where you could do that.
Not like Coastline.
No.
Not like Bank. Not like Consulate. Not usually.
No.
It's doable, though. I mean, and there are teams that will go possibly Tower or, you know, possibly go Kitchen on one of the first two.
And they'll trip up their enemy?
Yeah, and they'll trip them up. A lot of times it doesn't work, especially when you see Tower defenses go that way.
Yeah. But, I mean, it does happen. Though this time it was, we're going to go to our favorite sites, and then we will predictably go to one of the off sites. This time it was Tower, and yet it still was a... And it happens. INTZ, again, contesting Tower. And it makes sense. Why? Red Devils are really focused on taking Tower. Every round they've tried this. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Red Devils will take Tower without being punished so far. They do have T3 control, though, so I'm going to count it.
But, I mean, that was also a big part of the fact that INTZ wasn't defending the Tower.
They were for a moment there.
INTZ fell off very fast.
Yeah, they fell off way faster than the last time. So it's partially that, though. You're right. You're right. I'm just trying to give credit to Red Devils. They pulled it off.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Mighty falls, and they're just going to keep on pushing. What? VNX just decides to trudge on down. Keep on trucking. Abreu will finally win a fight. There you go. He takes out Boar inside a meeting hall, just wandering right on in. It doesn't appear that Red Devils really have a lot of information for the time being. You have command of meeting hall for the time being, though. You've got some soft hatches there that'll get opened up.
This is very dangerous. They don't seem to be aware at all of the Valkyrie who is lying in wait. That's Yuke, and I'm assuming he's just going to wait until the push starts coming onto the site and then drop. Yuke is a smart player. He's not going to jump the gun here. Abreu is setting up on flank watch, but he's not actually watching the flank. He's just watching flag. We'll take out the default cam and start pushing his way into kitchen. Oh, Yuke not looking who's left. Oh, there actually isn't anyone there. Abreu in main lobby is going to challenge Duds and win the fight, but it's a refrag from Yuke just inside a flag, and he moves back into kitchen, or tries to. Velvet from Attic will shut him down. This is the closest that we've seen Red Devils come to a victory.
Keep in mind it's Dorm, though, right? It's
Yes.
Dorm's upstairs. And, I mean, you have what? You have a hard Destructor, and I think Velvet might have one concussive blast left. And they're spread out for the time being.
Wait a minute. I'll get to that later. 30 seconds left here, and INTZ just need to hold on to the site. Velvet, though, has made his way into dorms. How did he get there? Just repelling in north windows, I suppose. The spray from Drunks will miss, but not from Intact. Drunks turns around, and Intact gets the double kill. Drunks doesn't need to do anything. INTZ win their 4th round in a row. The question I wanted to pose to you, Parker, was...
Yes.
Did they think it was a basement defense when they were opening those drops?
It sure looked like that.
It sure looked like that, too.
They walked in and they broke the hatches, and it looked like they were anticipating a basement drop. And I mean, that would be understandable were it not for the fact that the map literally tells you what sites are locked.
So when you're, I believe it's before you pick an operator, right?
Yeah, it's when you're checking, I believe it's where you're spawning.
Right, it's right, yeah, it's where you're spawning. It says that the defense cannot go to these sites because they won it in the last 3 rounds. And yeah, it couldn't be a basement there, because the basement was within the last 3, and they won it.
It certainly looked like that's where they thought it was.
So when you take, here's the reason we're saying this. When you take tower, and you're attacking top 4, usually all you take is tower, right? As the attacking team. You take control of tower, then you isolate that flank. And then you put 1 or 2 people in tower to hold the flank, and then everyone else shifts to a north windows attack. Or maybe you push 1 person in through kitchen to try and take out the C4 from below. All that is sensible. But what we saw there from Red Devils was they were opening up the drop downs and seemingly setting up down in construction as well. I have no idea why they were trying to do that unless they thought it was basement. And maybe we're wrong. We can't know without asking them. But that's what that's sure as heck what it looked like. So, it's basement now. INTZ have yet to lose a defensive round.
They really haven't even come close on it. That was probably the closest. Well, outside of the tower. The tower one was probably the closest.
Yeah.
This one's pretty close. The round before that, and I mean, once again, it's a basement defense, and you're bringing Alibi.
There is Kaid in play. I know there are other options too.
He's not on the board, but he can be. He can be
played.
Yes.
Like
in play, meaning that you can use him.
He's not banned.
Yes.
On Oregon.
No.
And you're going basement, and he's not there. They brought the mute though, so there is that. And also, once again, no Habana being brought instead of Thermite. That's just less options on this map.
You might even have 3 LMGs if Hit is running the M249.
They're gonna get the mute jammer using the Maverick. There you go. It's gone. And this right here is where a Kaid would be really useful, because there's a place you can put the Kaid, Electrocraw, that Maverick will have trouble getting.
There's a chance to actually reset Uke here, which is what they look like they might be going for. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Is this the first reset we've seen since?
I think we saw one last. Reset. Yeah, it's the first time that we've actually seen. I think you and I in particular have seen a reset. At least that jumps to my mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all that often. For those that are wondering what resetting means, it basically means that when you were under 50 HP, they used to be able to shoot you and bring you back to life, and you'd be at 50 HP. Now it's been lowered to 20.
So people don't do it anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's more of a balancing mechanic, and as a caster, it's a little difficult to convey to people how that really works. So
fair.
Just listen to all the different calls going in. Velvet is inside. The best opportunity Red Devils have, but they are greeted by an angry bunch as INTZ are able to counterpunch, and both Velvet and Abrew are gone from the board. Uke has been reset, so he's at low HP, but not as low as it was before. A missed frag grenade from VNX here, and what's going to happen is Hit Hack goes on top, and we'll actually go for the plant.
Why didn't you?
There you have it. It looked like he was going to shoot the mute jammer. Duds takes out VNX. There goes Hit, and Mighty will come on in, but he's nowhere to be found. Drunks will finish that one off. It's 5 rounds in a row. This is a stomp for INTZ so far.
Can you think of any reason not to break the mute jammer first? No. Trying to be stealthy?
No.
Maybe. I'm gonna say he was trying to be stealthy. So the Candelas. It looked like the Candelas were detonating at the doorway. He dropped through, I believe it was main lobby drop, but the Candelas detonated at the doorway instead of deep in the hallway. So if you cook the Candelas, they'll actually roll, and like you can get them in kind of deeper in there, and then they flash people who are trying to deny you that entrance. So you can like throw 2 of them, one at the doorway, one deep in the hall, right? And then you have full control when you push in through the hall. And then I guess that was kind of like the plan from Red Devils. I think what they were going on, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So INTZ just kind of stopped the hallway push, dead in its tracks. And then once that was, well, that push was just eliminated, INTZ kind of just mopped up the people going for the plant. There was also a surprisingly low amount of coverage on the actual attempted plant. So like, I don't know if there were smokes, but if there were, they were poorly timed and placed. I believe Capitao has been brought every round, but I didn't actually see the smokes. Just weren't looking there. I'm guessing they happened to just not on the screen for very long. It's tower take again, or tower defense, I guess. Parker.
Yes, Michael.
I wrote.
Very good, Michael. People are going to be like, what's in the book?
What did he write down?
What did he write down? Instead of writing a site, he just wrote INTZ.
Yeah, so
instead of the sites, we write down.
We write down the sites that teams defend.
Yeah.
For the round. I wrote down top floor, bottom floor, and then when we got to tower, I wrote INTZ instead of tower. I'm not sure why. My mind just did it. Anyway, we're on tower again, and we're dangerously close to a 6-0. Don't happen very often, but they do happen. INTZ is going to be defending from T3 with a clash yet again, and there are quite a lot of grenades being brought yet again, intact. Going to be fragging out, takes down Mighty. It's a good start here for INTZ, and it seems like, as you said it quite a lot earlier, Red Devils are struggling getting in the building.
Oh, Intact decides to go for a jump out. Gets rewarded. He's takes down Abrew. I like that Red Devils has just kind of foregone the hard breach at this point. They're going to dump a bunch of utility in and really wonder what to do. But I mean, you've got every member that is remaining of Red Devils are in a different part of the map.
One is attacking through tower side entrance, one's coming in through kitchen, and I didn't even see. Oh, main lobby. Velvet's going to take down you. Good job to Velvet. You got that pick. Now you're going to see INTZ start to adjust, but looky here, they still have T3 control. And what does that mean? It means that planting on this site is going to be next to impossible, because retaking on the other plant spot is super easy for these defenders, especially considering Boar is playing near Harry Potter and he has a C4. The odds of him being stopped from denying the plant are very slim, especially even more considering the fact that Clash has now come down from T3 and will be able to call any attempted plant from Red Devils. I think the one hope that Red Devils have going for them here, potentially the nades on Finka, or maybe the Capital bolts, depending. VNX will take down Boar, though. That's a huge pick. That is the main source of denial eliminated.
And this is still very winnable now as well for Red Devils, and actually is their best chance that we've seen other than the 1v1 that they provoked on tower. They do have a bit of an assist coming in from the site, usually being so difficult to attack, or to defend rather, and this attack right now, well, you got 20 seconds, you're under surveillance. Plant going down from hit, and just to try and possibly survive as long as possible, there's an adrenal surge, but no, Dutch shows up, takes out hit, and VNX in tough position. He's got the bikini body charm on his gun, and it's going to be Drunks who's going to shield it, turn around behind him, and just finish off the Finka. This is 6 rounds in a row for INTZ, and they have not allowed Red Devils to breathe just yet.
So, the Red Devils got control of Meeting Hall and main lobby when they got the pick. That was a great job to Velvet. Following that pick, they started to push into tower and try to go for a plant. Either they had already used all of their utility prior to this, or they just forgot to use it in that moment. I am going to guess the former. Now, given that, it was really hard for them to get a plant because they forgot to leave somebody on flank watch in Meeting Hall, or maybe take control of Attic, put a drone up there, just something, anything, to determine that they're not going to be flanked. So they did none of that, and then they got flanked. And then the denial came in, and the round was over, despite the fact that it looked like we might have seen a Red Devil successful attack. They had all of the key pieces, everything lining up.
All set.
They just forgot about their flank.
The real question that I have is, you lost one member of your team, and you go from being a team that, correct me if I'm wrong, started the second half of the season ahead of Black Dragons in 5th place, looking like you could actually start to climb. You were not too far off of FaZe. You lose one player, and just it appears that just everything implodes. One player. We've seen teams lose one player. And mind you, it might have been unexpected, but at the same time, how do you fall apart this badly?
It's important to note that Hit isn't necessarily the problem or a bad player. Really important.
No. I'm not trying to cast any doubt on his abilities. I'm just saying that a lot of teams make a single roster move, right?
And then
it's not even like they took a small step backwards. It's like they took a running leap off of a cliff.
Yeah.
And it puzzles me because this was a team that was actually pushing the top teams in the region into tough positions. Even if they weren't necessarily winning, they were still contesting against great teams. And then what happens?
They look good.
Well, they go against Black Dragons, they lose 0-7. Against Immortals, they lose 1-7. And now against the team that is last place in the region, they are losing 0-6.
It's technically not over yet. We've seen crazier comebacks, but the odds of Red Devils winning enough rounds to get a draw here? Well, VNX is going to win the fight. The first one of the round. There goes Duds.
That's clean. That's a good entry. Or well, a good starting point, rather, and a poor entry.
Boar's on flank watch inside a tower, and that's going to prompt INTZ to go for a north window attack. This is the strategy that we were talking about, that we were expecting to see from Red Devils every time there's a top floor defense, but it didn't happen. Here now, INTZ is displaying it for us.
And there's still a drone stashed as well from INTZ that's on top of the double bunks by the big window, so that'll be information that will continuously be fed on a essential surveillance feed to the rest of the team. Likely will put duds on that role since he's not going to be an active participant. There go the Candelas. You can hear as Yuke is going to likely swing on in, but he loses the fight to hit. Red Devils being gifted an opportunity here and a bit of a head scratcher as Velvet picks up one of his own, but it's a retaliation as Intact and Boar are able to get 2 very fast kills. The C4 goes out and it completely misses. Boar is downstairs. It's just Intact, all alone. Looked to be going for the plant, but he knows there's a pulse still in play. He takes matters into his own hands, shuts down VNX. Abrew is just around the doorway. There goes a C4, it takes out Intact, so Boar will need to do something, tries to come back in, but Abrew is there. And Red Devils, after 6 rounds, they're triumphant on round number 7. They actually looked pretty impressive doing it.
They almost lost it, though. It was very close. The main win there was Mighty playing Pulse downstairs. Huge play. Denying the plant. Really a great job there. And you got to applaud Mighty's patience. On a serious note, you got to applaud that patience because you saw the Maverick tried to fake out Mighty several times. It was a good attempt from Intact. In fact, he got a lot of frags. He got site control by himself. You got to imagine if he had one more person near him, if Boar had just come on North Rappel instead of trying to push in through the building from Tower, maybe it would have been a different result, pardon me. But what happened happened. And now no perfect match for INTZ. Potentially even a comeback from Red Devils. And Parker, we're going basement, and we again don't have Kai.
Honestly, it just might be that the teams don't want to play him.
Yeah, I get it. I just disagree with it. I like that there's no alibi though, because the funny thing was about that alibi is that I don't think that he was even roaming really, right? It was a little bit confusing. It's done now though. They're setting up.
So what happens? Okay, so we were talking about when INTZ was on defense, they were running an alibi.
Right.
Red Devils have essentially taken that alibi's role and likely handed it on over to Mighty on the Vigil.
Right, and I think Vigil's definitely going to be a good roamer. I think
he's an
especially for
upgrade.
Oregon.
I think he's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Because you can set up an attic on that second floor. You can be below in the meeting hall, or you can even be below meeting hall. And it's likely that your electronic scanner is going to be picked up.
There's a lot of places, actually, I think, where, on Oregon specifically, where you're going to be using that ability on Vigil, and people aren't going to be sure if you're one place or another.
Yep.
There's some good potential for just counterintelligence plays if you use Vigil correctly here. Mighty's going to give away his position just outside of Master. Yuke playing Blitz. This is interesting. He's likely to just charge up those stairs and try to challenge the Vigil head on. Expect that to happen as soon as the next drone comes in. Or at least as soon as they establish there's no one in Meeting Hall. Though there is someone in Meeting Hall. It's Abru. He's doing his best to hold on to the mute. VNX roaming below. Which is going to just push Yuke away from Garage, because he can go up the stairs without exposing himself if he comes from the main door. Likely going to establish there's no one in Armory and start hunting down that Vigil. He's found him just in the Master hallway. He's going to start hunting him down. And here it is.
He's going to get droned on in. He knows that there's a body. Oh, Velvet catching the angle and being able to take Yuke out of action, effectively saving the life of Mighty, and another from Velvet above. These multiple goo mines stacked up. Velvet a third. Mighty is in, and Red Devils have seemingly sprung to life. They take one round, and now they're just rolling ahead. Maybe a bit of false hope given to INTZ here, as this map might be able to close up between these two teams. As Boar will once again be the last member of his team alive. But instead of it being a 1v2, it's a 1v5 and a much more difficult path forward. He might not even be able to make it too far, as Abrew has moved all the way from the meeting hall over towards the kitchen door. And he'll get the cleanup kill. Giving Red Devils 2 rounds in a row.
Bounce back in a half. With a perfect round there, not mistaken. Very well done there to Red Devils, and, well, INTZ didn't even get past the roamers. Seeming a lot like the first half right now. I don't know if you're feeling that vibe.
You think that it's just going to be
no,
constant?
I want to believe that it won't be all defense.
I mean, I don't think so. And here's a here's a good reason. Exactly.
Yeah.
In order for Red Devils to be perfect on this half and close the gap, then they're going to need to win either tower or kitchen twice, which is very rare.
I mean, we saw it last half, but
is also very rare.
It's very rare, yeah. And I feel like last half as well, the tower, especially the first tower defense, was close. It was very close. The second one was as well. Both of them were. So all INTZ needs to do to win this entire match is have a slightly better attack strategy onto tower than what Red Devils gave us in the first half twice. Just ever so slightly. And I don't know, I could see it happening. Maybe not this tower defense, maybe it's the next one. Maybe it takes all the way to the final round, but I can see it happening in one of the two.
It's going to certainly be very interesting, as there's a lot of alignment between these compositions that we saw on both sides. This time around, Boar is going to be running the Dokkaebi. No hard destruction at all, which is pretty commonplace when you're attacking tower.
Is he going to actually go for a garage run out? Is this happening? No, just gathering information. All right.
It did appear that it would be that way.
He was setting up for it.
Yeah.
Now he's just going to challenge front door.
This worked for Yuke, so why not for Mighty?
Right. Both on Valkyrie.
Yep.
He's got the information.
Similar positioning. He can be able to just continuously give it to the rest of his team. Live or dead? Alive
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead?
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive, indeed.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not going to be able to get anything just yet. Lots of Valkyrie cams going by the front door. In fact, all of them.
Yeah, all within the same area.
Yeah.
And I think Mighty knows that. They know that it's there. You can see the drone was hopping on top of it. It's going to be information that, INTZ now has.
They got one of them.
Which will likely mean that, Mighty is going to be in a worse off place, as both he and Boar are very close to being able to contest each other.
I guess his job was just, deny entrance into main lobby. And start getting amazingly distracted by it, though.
I mean, on tower, the more time you can waste, the better off you are. I mean, that's with a lot of sites, but tower in particular, because you're very exposed most of the time wherever you go to plant.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that Valkyrie cam just outside of the front door, that one's also gathering information on the south and the east rappel of tower.
Benefits of having a dog, something that Yuke will learn a hard lesson on, is that you don't get to increase your life expectancy after getting lit up. There come the phone calls. There's no mute on the board. First kill's gonna go to Mighty, and Drunks just decides to vault on in. VNX cuts him down to size. Still in a position as the dog, but Duds will find him from above. Velvet takes out Boar, and while Red Devils are doing an excellent job on defense, rebuffing this push onto the tower. There's Abrew to jump on in onto Intact. Last body is Duds above, sustaining some damage, and Abrew will finish this off. And Red Devils, what is happening that we are watching between these two teams?
Do you really want to know?
Tell me.
The level of coordination on both teams' attacks is really low. And that's something that I think is common, kind of. I think we saw it a lot in the BD Pain match as well. It's not crazy, but these attack strategies are all just kind of a mess. I would maybe step back from calling them necessarily strategies. That last round just looked like, hey, let's all go in all at once. So there was a little bit more coordination going on there than what we were seeing, I think, in the last half. There were some ideas being used by both Red Devils and INTZ. Like I said, INTZ there, everyone go in all at once from all of the possible different angles. It didn't end up working out because Red Devils did a great job of isolating some of the windows and focusing on the other ones, got the kills on the initial entry. Red Devils, when they were going for their attack strategies, they were just missing their nades. And that was their plan. Ban Jaeger hit nades. They didn't hit the nades. So there's an idea. I feel like there's an idea for both Red Devils and INTZ for their attack strategies, but I would not necessarily call them strategies.
Reinforcing the wall.
This is peak Oregon, though.
That's true.
To be fair.
That is true.
Oregon is where you can just absolutely run around and do the silliest things.
Silly things.
The silly things.
On Oregon.
And silly things work from time to time, and
Yeah.
That's why a lot of teams fear coming to Oregon, because it is chaotic, it is unpredictable,
Yeah.
and it often benefits the lack of coordination, as you mentioned. Sometimes you can just sprint in with a blitz and kill 3 people and nobody's really watching.
Case in point.
Here comes Mighty. Out, and he sees a body. He's going to give himself away. Can't land all of the shots. In fact, doesn't even land a single one. He's going to get trapped in the classroom. Nobody's going to send him to school as he just studies his prey and gets on out.
A good example of how Oregon can sometimes play. And he might even go for another one. I want to see him do it. I don't think he's going to, since he's actually spraying the window down, but that would have been really... I would have loved to have seen that.
Keep them on their toes and just buy time, which seems to be Red Devil's strategy, is be unpredictable, move around as much as is humanly possible, and you'll find yourself in a very advantageous position. And so far, they really have. This is the Fnatic strategy. Take a shotgun and jump at an armory window, but immediately gets traded off. Boar is able to shut down Abreu, but that's a smoke taking that gamble.
Oh, yeah. Very...
Not exactly beneficial when you're defending dorms.
Just about the worst operator. You know, I mean, well, when defending anywhere, right? With it's smoke. But yeah, a curious gamble there from Abreu. He will take out the Buck, though. That is also a powerful operator on this site.
There's still a set of frag grenades in the hands of INTZ. He still has 1 left, and they usually tend to find their targets up in the kids' dorms site, just above INTZ, where he's playing on those double windows. For Red Devils, they still have plenty of explosive opportunities in this matchup. And the fact that there will be 3 C4s on the board, and then you still have the plant denial of those Evil Eye cameras, depending on where they are going to be aimed. Mighty goes for a run out. This was the position he'd primed before, but he loses it. Oh no, Duds will be able to clean up on Mighty, and the Valkyrie taking that chance will now set Red Devils onto the backs of their feet, knocked on their heels and seeing what they can accomplish now. Still a Velvet from below with the Nitro cell. There will likely be at least 1 Valkyrie camera and then possibly an Evil Eye above to give that information.
Lots of denial here in terms of the plant inside of Generator for Red Devils. I think the wall might have been opened up, but it also might not have. There's possibly a mute jammer delaying this open Generator wall. Yuke's setting up to run in, using his Candelas, using them well, it looks like, and he's going to have likely a full blind enemy team if anyone's actually confronting him, but no one is. Good timing there from the Mira. VNX falls down. Velvet also takes down Duds, though, so it's looking pretty bad here for Red Devils. Only 13 seconds left, and the plant needs to come down, but the C4 from below, no misses, and will still deny the plant. Boar eliminated, and no one's going to pick up the diffuser. INTZ will just in time, but Intact might not be able to plant. He gets denied in the last second. Red Devils will win yet another round, 4 in a row.
A lot of people might see that and think that that was chaotic, that that wasn't well planned, but Red Devils played the final 20 seconds perfectly. Whether it was an Evil Eye, whether it was a Black Eye cam, it doesn't matter what it was. Red Devils had set up their strategy to know that they could cover a possible plant in any area. It was Generator where we saw INTZ decide to plant, and the mark went out, and the C4 missed, but it still has enough of a radius around it to have blown up Boar, who was getting the plant off. Very lucky for Red Devils.
Very.
Extremely lucky, given that they did flub the C4.
I mean, he could have just thrown it on the floor closer to the actual plant, but
he tried to thread the needle.
Yes.
And it didn't work out. The C4, being a bit clunky, got stuck, and it looked like it was going to be a bad situation. It ended up working out well for Red Devils, but they realized as a team that when INTZ took control of the site, even though they were at a numbers disadvantage, we have the information. Let's go downstairs and play from below. We have 2 sets of C4s. And it worked out perfectly. So Red Devils managed to take a very bad situation and make it work, and work very effectively.
Gotta give him praise for that. It's a good job. Surprised we didn't see more. One thing I think that INTZ could have done better there, if it may, is focus on control of power positions like top of white, for example. If somebody on the attacking team had actually attempted to get control of top of white after, gaining it initially following the Ying push, we probably would have seen a different result. Then that's not going to allow for the second denial. The Mirror runs up white stairs. But it's done now.
That was probably the best round that both of those teams have played, though. There's been an awful lot of sloppiness. That was probably the most well-orchestrated between the two teams that we've seen so far.
I agree.
It comes at a good time for both teams, though Mighty's somehow going to get spotted out. The blitz is in sight, so INTZ just fully committing to this monstrous push on in. And Red Devils will find a kill amidst the fury, but INTZ has full control. Full control.
They're not a single anchor, and so it's going to go to a post plant. 3 players eliminated, and that's just about it seems like. Abaru is blind and being toyed with by Yuke, but he's going to down Yuke with the shotgun! Oh no! Don't play with your food, INTZ! Don't do it! Boar is low on HP, but still in a good position, and it's going to be the last 2 kills for INTZ. They lock it out. 7-4. It's done. It's over. The Force, the first attacker win. The Force is strong with INTZ.
The first attacker win of the whole game.
Yeah. I love that.
This just looks better.
Just so nice.
It looks much better.
It's clean.
It is. It's very fancy.
So, 7-4 for INTZ. It took them a while, but they made it happen. And it was, what was it, Parker? It was a rush.
It was literally, you hit the button, and you just run the blitz on, and you realize that you've got enough bodies off-site, as a lot of teams do play Oregon. You only keep 2 bodies on site. There's nothing to really slow you down. You put your bodies